a certain glutton for punishment. Still on the fence, hear the lament of a permanent displacement. A permanent displacement. Oh, oh, oh. Give up. Are you just gonna give up? Are you just gonna give up? Give up, give up, or will you die trying? They are shouting too loud, voices in dissonance frozen. Repeat, recur, sheep in the crowd, a beacon now darkened and broken by punishment, rise in descent, hear the lament of a permanent displacement, a permanent displacement. Oh, 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 oh. Give up, are you just gonna give up? Are you just gonna give up? Give up, give up, or will you die trying? Oh, give up, are you just gonna give up? Are you just gonna give up? Give up, give up, or will you die trying?
Okay, so I already wanted to do a CW live stream like, I don't know, a month ago or so, but the day job got into the way, and then the bureaucracy got into the way, and I finally find the time now to do it. Okay, so I tried to go back into CW like many HamRadio operators before me. And of course you can do it all with a PC, decode it with a PC, and send it with a PC, but I think it would be nice to be able to decode and encode CW manually, because I think it's the simplest way to communicate. So yeah, let's just jump right into it, and I'll see how it goes. It's a bit odd without any feedback, but hey, that's the curse of a small YouTube channel. Nobody's watching. Okay, so I have my True SDX here and the small China pedal that I got from eBay. So you can order this for a few bucks. Stainless steel. It has two magnets here to well, get the pedal into the default position, and two pins that you can adjust here with a small screw. And well, you just hook it up to the True SDX, and you could basically use your True SDX as a CW trainer. I mean, one thing you want to do is you want to get it into test mode, practice on, and then another thing you want to do is set the attenuation to maximum, so that you basically only hear your side tone and not any noise coming from the antenna. Well, I've hooked it up at the moment to a attenuator / dummy load, so there's nothing to hear anyway. Let me find the setting. It's here somewhere. Here, attenuation set to maximum. Yeah, and then you can basically practice sending CW. If everything works, I hope it's not too loud. Let's see. Maybe turn down your speaker, your headphones and your speaker. Yeah, it's pretty loud. Let me tweak it a bit. Maybe that's better. Okay, so, and yeah, basically here you can train giving CW like, let me get my headphones on. Yeah, so pretty straightforward, and the TrueSDX has a Morse decoder built in, which works fairly well in my opinion. So you basically can control if you give valid code. What I find always easiest, I just pick some newspaper or magazine and then just, you know, try to give the text like, let's see, what do I have here? Yeah, one of these decoding wheels for resistors. Let's try to give some text. I'm not very good. Let's give farb code, which means color code. Oh yeah, not very good. You can also set the keyer speed here, so it's set to 20 words per minute at the moment. And the keyer mode, iambic A or iambic B. I'm used to iambic A, but I'm still very bad at it. So let's see, where did I have the speed? Here, keyer speed, set it to something slower, 18. And you see the difference compared to let's say 22. Much faster. So let's see, maybe I'm just too bad. Let's see if I can give that sentence with a speed of 18 words per minute. No. Sometimes I also think the contacts in these things are not very good. So I also have an alternative here. Let me hook that up. So, oops, now it's connected to the metal plate. So I have an old ETM3 keyer here that I gutted. And the mechanics is much nicer in my opinion, but of course it's huge and you don't want to carry it around when you go out into the field. But in principle it works the same. You hook it up, put your TrueSDX on top, and then you can try your luck once more. So let's see if I'm better with this one or I'm just completely out of practice. That was one bit too much. Try again. Okay. Okay, a bit better. So let's try to go back to 20. Much faster. Let's try again. Not good. No. See, I'm completely out of training here. That was not a no. Not good. Yeah. See, much more training to do on my side. And how do we do the training these days? Well, let me put that aside for a second. So this is how my dad tried to learn CW. Here I have a complete CW training exercise on vinyl. Let's quickly flip through it. So basically, of course, they show you the Morse code alphabet, and then a long introduction how to train. They even did teach you how to write, so that you write fast enough to not confuse yourself when the speed increases. So of course, first you have vinyl discs for all the letters, and then once they are done, they are moving on to groups of 5 letters. And then basically with each disc, or which is a record, the speed increases until they reach a ridiculous high. What was it? I think 80 letters per minute, not words per minute, 80 BPM. And then they have really some nasty trainings. It's called knuckle breaker. So when this course was out, probably nobody had a iambic key, so it was all the classic Morse key. I have one here. This is a very famous Morse key called the Junkers key, and of course it's completely dinged. I think I got it at some flea market, but yeah, the mechanics is rock solid, and you just have basically, well, it's just the contact, right? So here, that's the key and that's the counter contact, and you have 2 wires coming out. I think it even contacts the other one, so it is more like a seesaw. So you have the other side as well, but it's not hooked up here. Yeah, so this is how my dad tried to learn CW. And yeah, I think it's in pretty good condition, so maybe he did not use it too much, but of course it's copyright and I cannot just play it for you. So not sure if anybody remembers, or if even the company who, I mean, the German Amateur Radio Club still exists obviously, but I don't know if the company who held the copyright is still there and so on. So I think I could probably play you a few seconds without getting into problems, but it basically says only for personal use, no renting, playing on the radio, well, which is basically YouTube. Teldeck Telefunken Schallplatten GmbH, Hamburg. Okay, so this is how my dad learned CW, or at least tried to learn. And in the end, he made the big license. I mean, at the time when I made the big license, it was still mandatory to do CW, which was like, I don't know, 16 or 20 years ago. And since I tried to do it, my dad joined, and we more or less did it together. So yeah, if I have not listened to this in a while, but if I remember correctly, it was pretty tough to listen to this and to decode this. I'm not sure if they were doing the standard patterns or the standard gaps, or if they were not a bit tougher. Yeah, so a bit more shorter gaps between the letters and the words, so that when you went to the real test, that you could easily do it. So basically, if you master that these vinyl records, then you could also pass the test. That was, I think, that's my opinion. Of course, these days you don't do that anymore. You just use your mobile phone, and there are a number of applications, and everybody knows them already. So let me quickly pull one up. So we have the Morse machine. I think everybody knows that. I think Josh already presented it in one of his live streams. And the good thing is you cannot only learn the different words, but there's also the top 40 words, which I think might come in handy, where you basically get the most common used top 40 phrases that you need in order to do a CW QSO. So maybe let's crank up the volume here and give it a quick try. Yeah, right. What was that? It was QN, I think. That was 599. Once more. I missed it by di-da-da-da-di-di-da. W something. Weather. QM, I think. At some point, you decode the whole word and not individual letters, which is also handy. So I think that was RST. Well, that is easy. 73, my favorite. ES, I think. I just have to find it here. Where is it? Here. And so on. Yeah, so basically you get the idea. So that was Morse machine. And then today I found 2 more programs by accident. One is called Morse Mania, which is more or less the same than Morse machine. The only difference is I think it also helps you sending. So that's quite funny. So if you go to sending and say, okay, start level whatever, then it tells you what letter you have to give, and you just tap it in on the touch screen. Oh, I think somebody joined my live stream. Amazing. Sorry, I didn't realize. Let me say hello. Just my second laptop here on the side of the desk. Who is joined? Oh, thanks, Theodore. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I don't know. The vinyls are, you know, really, really old. Yeah, so I don't know how long the copyright is valued for those. But of course, I could just record them and put them for personal use in an MP3. And if somebody knows if they are free to use, I could also offer them for download. But I don't know. So. Okay, so what was the other program? That was, right, this one. Let's give it a quick try. So you basically start, it shows you the letter, and then you tap it in on the yellow button. I hope you can see it. It's a bit... So I think this is a nice function. I don't think that Morse machine has that. But I think Morse machine costs a few euros, and this one is in-app purchase. So you can spend, yeah, $4.59 or up to $10 for all functionality. I just found it like half an hour ago. And another interesting thing is they also have a program that's called Morse Chat. I did not sign up yet, but the idea is basically that you talk with other users. So it's like a cloud application and would help you to train. So I might give it a try. So try as a guest. And then you could give optional a call sign, or it just generates a random one. And then I guess if other users of that application use the same, use the application probably connected to a central server, you can basically send messages backwards and forwards for training. But I mean, if you do that, you can, you know, switch on your radio and try it live on air. Okay, so that was Morse Mania and Morse Chat. Okay, that is Morse machine again. I wanted to see show you another program which helps you cheating, and this is Morse Expert, and it's basically a decoder running on your Android phone, and you can just put it next to your radio and it will decode CW and show you in clear text. So if you're not up to scratch, and I'm not up to scratch, then you can cheat a bit with this thing. And I think it also has a mode, if I remember correctly. You could set the decoding mode to general text or to HamRadio QSO. And if you set it to HamRadio QSO, it is clever enough to detect call signs and it groups them together. So even if the spacing between words is not 100%, it will, you know, detect that, hey, this is a call sign, and bunch it up together and then highlight it like in red. So let me try if I can show you that. Maybe I'll quickly disconnect the TrueSDX from the audio interface. Brace yourself. You will get a little noise when I pull this out. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and now it comes out here, out of the speaker, and the Morse Expert could, in theory, decode it. Let me see if I can clear the text here. Right. It's not very... Where's the microphone here? Maybe like this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you see the 3 times test were decoded here and highlighted in blue. So I think maybe also other phrases like Q codes are discovered. Let's try. Nope. Okay, at least I'm able to give my own call sign and the Morse expert can decode it. So, right. Okay, so this is basically for training, and I would say we walk over to my main machine and have a listen live on the band and see if we can decipher a few real QSOs and not just hear these boring dry runs. So switch this off, and I'm moving back to my desk, and let's have a listen on the band. Okay, so I have to switch to the monitor, and here I have the SDR radio running, connected to my ISO. I hope. Maybe the audio is probably not very good. If somebody can briefly give me a comment how loud the radio is here. Too loud, I guess, but probably lost my only listener. Yeah, okay. I've lost Theodore, but thanks for briefly tuning in. That's always the catch with live streams. If nobody's watching, they can get boring. Anyway, yeah, what I wanted to show you here is basically, yeah, this is the convenient way to watch, listen to CW. Okay, that's way too fast for me. Oh, Theodore is back. Thanks for sticking with me. Yeah, it's a real radio. So the HamRadio is connected to end-fed half-wave, and yeah, the RF or IF output of the radio is connected to RTL SDR. This is running SDR console on the left side, and on the right side I've started a program called CW decoder logic, which would basically decode the CW. There's also programs like, what is this called? I think CW skimmer is very popular, and CW type is also a very popular program. So in theory you could do it all without having to learn CW. CW skimmer is a bit expensive in my opinion. I think they want 90 euros or so for the program, and I'm too cheap for that. Sorry. Okay, so let's try to find maybe a slower radio. Is my audio too loud in relation to the radio? Should I turn that down, or should I turn the radio down a bit? It's hard for me to judge. Okay, let's zoom out and see if we find somebody slower. This might be slower, just from looking at the waterfall. No. Maybe this one? Yeah, that looks more like my class. disappearing in the void. I think this is manual keyed. Yeah. I think this is not a iambic key, this is a single key. And sometimes you only hear one half of the QSO. So let's see. Let me try 30 meter band. Maybe. It's a bit weak, but maybe here. I think this is a speed that I could decode with pen and paper, and even the program can decode it. I think the CW decoder struggles a bit. Sometimes the human can hear better what it means than this CW decoder. But you can always put the Android up next to your rig. I think the Android decoder that I showed you, that one is really excellent. I think it can decode stuff that's almost hidden in the noise. Let's see if we find something else. Let's try 20 meter band. Oh, that seems to be busy. So the red section here is FT8, FT4. That is always very crowded. So maybe here. Oh, now he just stopped. I think my only chance to really get back into CW is to, daily 10 minutes or daily 15 minutes. Otherwise, I mean, I know all the letters, but I have a knack for mixing it up, symmetrical letters, like I like to mix up Yankee and Foxtrot, or I also like to mix up all numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 6, 7, 8, 9. They're more or less symmetric. Yeah, sure, it will be available later to rewatch. I just had some start problems with the recording, but I'll cut the boring 5 minutes where I fix my audio problems out and just keep the content, so you can watch it later, no problem. So what was the name? Mikolai, probably. I hope I pronounced it right. Yeah, so the idea would be to do your daily 10 or 15 minutes and build up a bit reliability. I know I'm at a state where I know all the letters, and also the speed does not seem to be the problem for the letter themselves. So whether I played with 18 or with 22 or 24 words per minute, I can detect that n is an n. But of course, when the gap between the letters, the smaller that one gets, then you need to train your brain a bit to buffer and decode. So I need to train up speed and consistency, and of course lose my tendency to mix up symmetrical letters, and especially numbers. I mean, everybody says, hey, numbers are so easy, you can decode them in your head, but I have a knack to, swap 1 and 6, or 2 and 7, or 3 and 8. 73 is fine, yeah, because that is more or less programmed in as a single word. Please answer on chat. Yeah, okay, I can also send you a quick message. A bit hard, so he's a bit splattering. Look at that. We zoom in here, you see that this is this signal does not look super clean here. So you have here the main carrier, and then sounds a bit muddy. What we can also do is we can change the filter bandwidth here. So this is a 300 Hertz roofing filter. So when we go to 600 Hertz, it will sound a bit differently. Okay, so that was more or less all that I had for this stream. We can do whatever you found most interesting. You can go back to the Android app and play with that for a few more minutes, or really look over the bands a bit more. I have no preference. So Theodore, you can request what you wanna do here. I'm not sure I'm good enough yet for a real live QSO. So that's the only problem. That would of course be nice. I would need somebody equally slow and very patient. Let's try to go to 40 meters. That's probably, oh yeah, 40 meters is always booming. You see it also on the signal levels here. 40 meters, right. That's a good speed for me. And you can also more or less hear when the Morse code disappears a bit into the noise, you are still able to pick it up, and I think that's one of the big strengths of Morse code. Okay, I mean, these days I think FT8 or FT4 has even bigger margin to decode, but for the average human, CW wins every time against SSB voice. also here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Is that the other OM here is slightly on a different frequency, and this is why you hear him with a different pitch. So if yeah, but he's almost disappearing in the noise. Now he's getting stronger again. See, this is also what the band shows you. Sometimes propagation changes and the signal completely disappears in the noise, and 5 seconds later it's perfectly decipherable again. Okay. And in theory, here in the waterfall you would be able to distinguish a slow from a fast speed as well. Like here, this one is probably very fast, and that one here sounds almost, is that Morse code or is that some beacon? It's Morse code. That is also slow enough for me. Okay, now he stopped. Calling CQ. Okay, the CQ and the DE I deciphered, but the call, I'm not sure if the call is right here. That what the CV decoder spit out here. What was that? It was definitely German call sign starting with Delta Lima, but then I got confused. I don't know if there's a special call sign. Sometimes there are event stations, like they have a few characters which form a word for. See here, the decoder is completely confused what's going on. Okay, let's look somewhere else. I'm not sure if I should try 80 meter. 80 meter is a lot of disturbance, but let's see. Yeah, there's one CW station here. See if we can catch him or her. Oh, that's a high speed. And it's very low in the noise. Oh, that's not so good. Nope. Let's try. Sorry for the noise. That is not what I want. Let me turn it down a second. And we wanted to go to CW. Here we are. See, there's CW on every band. Now I can turn it up again. No. Maybe that guy also has a bit of splatter. Look at that signal. There's stuff in the middle and things around. Okay, yeah, so we've reached 44 minutes here with this stream. I don't know if we get any new insights here, but yeah, let me turn down the receiver. Okay, maybe just for comparison I could show you a SSB QSO. Let me find one, and then I stop the stream, and so whoever's on the band now has bad luck and gets recorded. Sorry for that. And it would make sense if I'm switching to LSB, lower sideband here, because we are on 40 meter, then we have a chance to understand what's going on. Okay, now I found somebody. Can stop the CW decoder because that's now voice QSO. Maximize the screen here.
From Glasgow until about 2 o'clock this morning. A very, very old friend of mine. So working on 10 meters on the Moxon, by the way. Okay, it was running a kind of high SWR, but I wasn't using a lot of power. I was using a bit of suspension on train. HamRadio, QSO. Doğru sokuyorum fakat problem yok. Problem yok, ben biraz güçlü çıkıyorum, tamam. Wow, grazie di esserti fatto sentire, ma vedrai che ti sentiamo anche con la tua loop lì da dove eri, dalla Svizzera. Ciao, grazie, buona serata Juan, alla presto, ciao.
Ja, hört sich auch gut an, schönes lautes Signal.
Oh, here, found somebody in German.
Bleiben Sie bitte ein bisschen QSB dabei, aber ansonsten sehr schönes Signal, Erfolg, überhaupt kein Problem. Ja, ich arbeite hier mit einem IC 7600 und habe 73 Meter Draht in der Luft, ein Multiband-Dipol mit Feeder-Gespeist und nachgeschalteter Endstufe mit ca. 600 Watt.
Yeah, see, he's running 600 watts, and if you want to make contacts with a few watts, then you go to CW. So let's go back to CW and zoom in a bit. So all these signals here from 7 megahertz up to, I don't know, 7050. You can look in the band plan where's the CW region, but here it's busy. It's a busy Saturday. Let's look at this signal. So I think you can make worldwide contacts with CW, but you can't make well, you can also make worldwide contacts with SSB, but you need a bit more power. And yeah, to get a higher signal to noise ratio, basically. So that's why it's interesting to be able to decipher CW, I think. I think 1 or 2 years ago I participated in, I think, one of the RTTY contests, and I had it set up with FLDigi and N1MM, and I think I participated in the 5 watt QP class. And I don't know what rank I made, but maybe the 4th, or I think it was not a lot of people were participating in my country in the 5 watts region, so it was easy to get, you know, I think I can't remember, but I think I managed to get into the top 10. But if only 10 people are participating, it's not a big achievement to end up in the top 10. Anyway, what I wanted to say is it would be nice to set up N1MM, also to be able to transmit and receive CW, and then it would be easier to make a few contacts. I'm mic shy and I'm key shy, so the amount of QSOs I do is not very big. Let's look at that guy here. He has a strong signal, and then I'll stop the stream. These live streams are never as popular as short videos, but I mean, it's understandable. Who has time to watch that? I mean, maybe while you're doing your dishes or that is a nice strong signal and not very fast. I should put pen and paper here next to my desk. Well, let us see Q code. Y ending, starting with also a Y, if I got it right. I think that's of course the next that would be the next target, to do head copy, so to not need pen and paper anymore, but be able to decipher everything in your head. But hey, one step at a time. Okay, let me try to start this CW decoder once more, because that would probably decode quite nicely. See, exactly what I told you. I'm mixing up Yankee and Foxtrot. It was F5 MMX and not Y5 something. Oh well, I'll get there. So greetings to Jean, F5MMX. Can't hear the other side. But maybe he repeats the call of the other side, then we know whom he is talking to. Yeah, that's just, I think, noise. I don't think the decoder is picking up anything. Nah. They have a very chatty other side opposition. I would have. Thank you. Okay, I didn't really catch the other call, and the decoder didn't catch it either. Well, it's an ongoing project. So I think I'll end the stream now. Let me pull down the volume of the radio. So yeah, thanks to Theodore and Mikulash for joining briefly. Yeah, it's not one of my best streams, but you have to start somewhere. So until next time, if I can get my keep my motivation up and do my 15 minutes CW every day, then maybe I can do a real QSO sooner or later. The history was basically I learned CW like 20 years ago when I made the big license, and then I was offline for a while, and well, you don't really forget it completely, but I mean, if you're not using it, you completely lose speed, and yeah, and also the characters which were not rock solid, you have to relearn them. So yeah, it's all doable, but yeah, time and motivation must be kept up. So please put a few positive comments below that I don't give up completely. So thanks, and until next time. Bye guys.